3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Onyx Paradox. You tapped in with your host, St. Chris. Today we got a quick one, y'all. Talking about my favorite player, Jalen Hurts. Man, he made headlines again, y'all. For some more negativity, of course. I guess Vegas insiders reported that he's been voted most hated player in the NFL. So we're going to get into the report and we're going to get into the particulars and what this was really based on and where they got this information, where this polling took place and all that. Alright, so per this article here on Yahoo Sports, says Jalen Hurts is the most disliked player in the NFL per report. Who is the most disliked player in the NFL? Well, it's not who you think it is. They suggest Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. It's surprisingly not them. It's Philadelphia Eagles QB Jalen Hurts, according Vegas Insider. Vegas Insider based its research information on Reddit NFL discussion boards. Wow. Jalen Hurts draws the most criticism league-wide, and he ranks number 1 on the hate list. Hate score 10.0, reflecting the strongest negative fan reaction in the dataset. It doesn't explain why Hurts is so disliked. Part of it has to be the tush push, popularized by the Eagles over the past few years. But other than that, Hurts has been a model citizen on and off the field. There hasn't really been a single bad word said about the man from his teammates or his opponents. He's also very charitable and well-liked amongst NFL fans, so maybe the hate has less to do with him and more to do with the tush push. And I think, it all comes back to him just being a winner, being a winner and kind of, doing everything the right way, like, what some people may call a company man. And sometimes that rubs some people the wrong way, Sometimes, it's not really Jalen Hurts they got a problem with. Sometimes it's them they got a problem with. They can't see themselves being that straight and narrow, that clean cut. I mean, the guy don't do nothing but win. Young guy, got a Super Bowl, married, always says the right things. He's charitable in his community. He's liked by his teammates. He's liked by his opponents. He got a great fan support because he made the Pro Bowl. I mean, I don't know where he would be considered most hated, but apparently amongst these Reddit forums that we're just taken to be so credible, they're not talking so nice about my guy. You know what I mean? But I don't know what there is to dislike. You know what I mean? Let's look at, who do they favor right now? They like Patrick Mahomes. He was hurt this year kind of at the end. You got Joe Burrow was hurt most of the year. Lamar Jackson was in and out this year. So who's left? Really like elite. Josh Allen. You got Josh Allen. Let's look at the side by side. Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen. Cause Jalen Hurts played so bad. You know what I'm saying? He took so much scrutiny this year about his play. Let's look at the side by side. Okay. So obviously, Josh Allen is the better passer of the two in terms of yardage. 3,668, 3,224, 215, 201 passing yards. That's the average. 25 touchdowns. He had 10 picks. Jalen Hurts had 6, which means he handled the ball a lot better. Okay, the quarterback rating wasn't that far off, 102 to 98. Rushing attempts, Josh Allen had more, but he also had a higher rushing attempt average at 5.2 to Jalen Hurts 4.0, and he had those 14 rushing touchdowns. So I would definitely say he had a better individual season than Jalen Hurts. Both of them made the Pro Bowl, but the stats are very comparable. You know what I mean? And like, what do you really want from Jalen Hurts, to be honest? You want about 3,500, maybe 30, 31 touchdowns, 5, 6 interceptions is okay, not terrible. Rushing attempts, you definitely want to see maybe 200, right? I ain't gonna lie, bro. I want to see like 200 attempts. I ain't gonna hold you. This is 150 at least, man. I want to see 500-600 yards out on the ground from him and about 8 to 10 touchdowns, just off the rushing. So 40 touchdowns, you get what I'm saying? Like 3,500 passing yards, like that's a nice season, and we've seen that from him. So I don't know. I think the scrutiny he takes is kind of unjust. But here we go. Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, they touched on it a little bit. And, you know, I think Shannon Sharp has been one of Jalen Hurts' biggest detractors throughout the season. He always got some negative things to say. Mostly, I think his narrative or his tone be more so directed to the Eagles fan base. Because, you know, we kind of aggressive, you know, about our team. So, you know, we going to get at you if we feel like you being a little overzealous with your critique, my brother. You know what I mean? And Shannon can be a little overzealous. We know that. Alright, so let's get into what Ocho and Shannon had to say. Alright, so we ain't gonna watch too much of this because I don't want to get clipped. You hear me? So watch a little bit of this and see what they was talking about.
And the strongest negative fan reaction. Ocho, why do you think Hurts is the most hated player across the league?
I think Hurts is the most hated player across the league because he wins, huh? He's been winning. He's been winning since Alabama. He came to Philly, and he's been a winner since he's gotten there. They don't like the way he do things, but he only does what they ask of him.
Facts.
And the results in what they ask of him, even though it's not pretty, even though it's not aesthetically pleasing to the eye, Jalen Hurts wins.
Facts.
All the time. Now, obviously, players, those that play the game, will continue to nitpick at what he's not able to do. Obviously, last season, everything coming to a head because the things that everybody complains about, see, this is why we're not winning right now, because he can't do X, Y, and Z. But still, he is the most hated to me, obviously, because I think he wins with doing the least at his, you know, current position.
People talk about,
but it works for them. It has worked, and just last season it just didn't.
People talk about what?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Last season, like, it's the same thing every season. You know, I think we've won in spite of our biggest hindrance, which is like not having continuity in the offense because we keep switching the coordinator. So you always have to keep that in account when you're talking about Jalen Hurts. And if you gloss over that fact, then I'm not even really taking your opinion serious because you a hater or a detractor at that point. You know what I mean? But you know, I always expect a harsh critique from Shannon. So I'm interested to hear what he got to say here.
What's the context? I hate you, Ocho. What context? I don't need no damn context.
All right. Now, that's not true, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, context is very important because what's the context here? Where was this poll taken from? Was it taken from the players? No, because it wasn't taken from his teammates. It wasn't taken from the opposing teammates because in that article we read, what did it say? You know, he's liked by his opposing teammates. He's liked by his teammates. He's liked by the fans. So, you know, at that point, you know, where was this information gotten from? Was it from coaches? No, it's from a Reddit forum. We got this information from a Reddit forum, bro. That's the context here. That's very important.
You just hate me for no reason.
You're talking about what's the context? He's the most hated player, and I think a lot of that has to do with Ocho. He wins, but it's not, like you said, it's not aesthetically pleasing. He doesn't win like they want him to win or how they envision he should be winning. They look at how Lamar or Josh Allen or this guy or that guy win. Well, he ain't winning like that. The objective is to win. You don't get more.
Yeah. Now we talking, Now we talking. I'm going to let you cook. You cook.
Or less points for winning pretty. And I think and I think that's what, you know, some people, everybody can't win like Peyton Manning. Can't win like Tom Brady. Some people have to do it a different way. And that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. As long as we winning, man, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't, as a fan, as an Eagles fan, I ain't gonna complain. Did I like the offense last year? Of course not. You know, we noticed that like week 2, 3, everyone was saying it. Fans, analysts, everyone. And I do say, you know, as much credit as we give a Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, you gotta also give them some scrutiny here because it's like, yo, that offense struggled all year. You mean to tell me you guys weren't going to make any adjustments? You weren't going to get rid of the OC, you know, bring somebody else in with some experience? Like, I understand loyalty and everything, and I do understand where it's like we're complaining about continuity and asking to change the OC mid-season, but at the point you see it's not working and you got the roster that you have, you cannot waste that kind of talent, because that's the stuff that piss fans off. And it's in a fan base like Philly will tear your team apart. You know what I mean? Just start picking at the players. Now guys are getting emotional, crying for the ball, crying for their touches, because the fans will let you know you ain't doing nothing. So, yeah, I think we really dropped the ball on not making a move on that OC during the season, because I feel like, this was our window. I think we're still in that Super Bowl window. We still could squeeze 1 or 2 out with the roster that we got. But I think last year we missed a year, and I think the year before we won. The year before last season, we missed a year. So I think with what's coming next with the what was his name, Sean Mannion or something like that. That guy they brought in, I got some confidence in what he might do, and I think they brought in the pass game coordinator from the Bucks. He interviewed for an OC position, but I think we ended up hiring him as the pass game coordinator. So I'm excited. Like, if you look at what guys like Romeo Doubs was able to do in that offense, and then you go back and you look at what guys like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and the rookie Emeka Ibuka were able to do last year in the Bucks offense. Like, if passing was our issue last year, I don't think we're gonna have much of a problem with that this year. You get what I'm saying? And I know we lost was it Jeff Stoutland, the O-line coach and everything like that, but I think Jalen Hurts, being around that experience, being around Jason Kelsey, and being such a smart guy, I think he's picked up enough to help with the protections and help whoever they do bring in to pick up where Jeff Stoutland left off, and then there's some experienced O-lineman there as well. So I'm not really too concerned about the Jeff Stoutland retiring like everyone else is. So like I say, this just is a bunch of fluff. Media ain't got nothing to talk about, because as much scrutiny as he takes, he just keep winning. Check the Super Bowl out, halftime, he out there with the Super Bowl legends, Tom Brady and them boys, you feel me? He already ascended, so he already put on that stage, he already got that jewelry. So some of your favorite quarterbacks and the guys that you touting as better than him ain't even got there yet. So we gonna see where his career ends up in the end. But I see Jalen Hurts being good for a really long time and finishing his career with at least 2-3 Super Bowls for real. So we'll see. Mark my words though. That's all I got for y'all, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think, man. You think Jalen Hurts is being overly scrutinized? You think the criticism is justified? Do you hate him or do you love him, man? I say love Hurts, bruh. Like I say, like, comment, subscribe, man. Let me know what you think.